Did you try holding it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, today I want to talk about some mud riding techniques to help you get out of any sticky situation. One of the first keys to be able to make it through a mud hole is momentum. And when I mean momentum, I don't mean just smash it through a mud hole. Anybody can do that. Sometimes when they're really big, really deep, and full of really thick mud, sometimes you got to give her a little bit more throttle. But what happens once you come to a stop? This is where you got to start thinking about techniques and manage your energy, because you know what? Sometimes you can get pretty tired, especially if the hole is really deep and it's got a lot of water in it and your exhaust under the water. It can be a little unnerving. Now, once you stop moving, this is where the techniques come into play. You really got to stop and think about what you're doing. If you're not moving anymore, the machine is hung up, the belly of the machine is stuck to the ground, and when you're in a mud hole, you end up getting suction. Sometimes you can get yourself out of it without too much work. First thing you need to understand is, are any of my tires touching the ground anywhere? If all your wheels are just spinning, you're pretty much done. You're probably gonna need a winch, or you might need to push it. Now, once you stop moving, you need to assess the situation. Giving it lots and lots of throttle, in most cases, isn't gonna help. One thing to try is just get your body weight off the machine. Get beside the machine and see if you can get it to go forward. Now, in some cases, if you went into the mud hole going slow, taking your time, you're gonna crawl because you didn't know what it was like and you're stopped. Maybe what you can do is reverse, especially if you can reverse far enough so that you can get a handful of throttle, give it a little bit more oomph, and maybe scoot right through. If that doesn't work, you're in a situation where you don't have quite enough ground clearance. So there's a few techniques that you can do. Like I said, sometimes just getting off the machine, getting beside it, usually on the right-hand side, because why? That's where your throttle is.
But you're on the wrong side.
Look how high I am.
I know, but you're on the wrong. Okay, if you want to do that, come over on this side.
So basically, get yourself in a position where you can work the throttle. Maybe you just gotta grab the back of the machine. That's why it's important to have some sort of a rack or a rear bumper. Give it a little bit of throttle and pull.
Yes, that was a good move.
And why you wanna do little bits of throttle is just to try to grab some traction somewhere. If you're just spinning, you're not taking advantage of the tires that you have. And one of the things you can do is use your feet to help push the machine. In a lot of cases, the ruts, they're not even. One side may be down further than the other. So what you need to try to do is balance the machine, especially if it's tippy on a really tall rut. Like I said before, when you're high centered, the machine may wobble like this. So by getting yourself in a good body position, you can manipulate the machine to find some traction on one side or the other. Now, what I find to be very effective is to go wrong foot forward. And what this does, it allows you to keep your chest square to the direction that you want to go. You can easily manipulate the handlebars to try to grab some traction on that rut, either on the outside or the inside. The other thing that wrong foot forward can do is you can use your foot to push off of a bank or a tree or something like that, especially if you need to get it to this side. Now, we do have these mud straps here. I find they're not that effective. They're really only helpful if you want to try to get weight on this side of the machine. Again, wrong foot forward, you can really balance and get some leverage. The only way a mud strap's going to work if you want to be on the left side of the machine, you need a left-handed finger throttle. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. Unless you try to get this hand here, this hand on the throttle. Sometimes you got to do some maneuvers. Another one you can do, if there's a bank, you can go like this, put both feet out, put both 1 foot or 2 feet out, push on the machine, and try and find some traction. Now, this mud hole here, it might not look like a whole lot, but it's tough. I haven't been through it this year, so this will be a really good test. Let's go. Gloves. Okay, so I'm not moving anywhere. I'm gonna have to use some of those techniques I talked about. So see, I'm a little hung up on the front. I'm gonna try moving the tire side to side a bit, see if I can grab traction. It's working a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna try that technique I was talking about before, wrong foot forward. See if I can't push off the bank. I'm gonna turn my tires this way, and then if I can, I'll try to go the other way just to see how that works. Okay, so this time I'm gonna go a little bit faster and see what happens. Well, it wasn't that fast. Now, that side-to-side wiggling was working for a bit, but now my front is hung up pretty good. So, easiest thing now is get off the machine, do the same thing again. Again, wrong foot forward works so much better. It's so much easier on you. There she goes. Huh. I'm huffing and puffing a little bit. A little bit of work, but not too crazy. I could easily go and do 4 or 5 more of those in a row. Then I probably want to take a break after that. But if you're efficient with your movements, easy on the throttle, let the tires do the work. Now, if your tires are just mired in mud, you need to be able to try to maybe back up and get some more throttle so that they can clean themselves out. The bigger the lugs you have, the easier that is going to be. But even when you got really big lugs, like those 32 Assassinators I'm running right now, everything has its limits. So the next time you're out riding in a mud hole and you don't make it all the way through, instead of backing out and going around or having to get winched, try some of these techniques I showed you today. They make a world of difference. They save your energy so that you can go and smash more the whole rest of the day. Thank you so much for watching, but before you go, why don't you check out this video right here that talks about the tips and tricks for basic winching your ATV.
Woo! Holy shit. it done?
I would say that's how it's done.
Did you try holding it?
Yeah.
Okay.